Before I get into new business, I really feel like there's a bit of old business that needs a little bit of tying up. Some of you might agree, some of you might not agree. But guess what? It's my channel. But the point is, after this, the only thing you should start expecting of myself is basically uh, talks on, or the starts of, me delving into the Big Ten list that I had talked about in my last video here. Now, I wanted to deconstruct what my ex-friend had said. I'm still not going to name them because at this point in time, I don't really care to try to throw sand in other people's faces, but if you're going to kick my sandcastle down and then kick the remnants of said sandcastle into my face, I don't do well with that. And when I'm starting to see that this had, in part, very, very little to do with what brought this person to PM me over Facebook in the first place, I think this sort of mentality needs to be taken head on, because I'm rather pissed off at this point in time, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. And you'll see why when I deconstruct what was said. So, to quote the last thing that somebody had said to me before unfriending me on Facebook, they said, "Here's the bottom line. Anita Sarkeesian is a person. She isn't a character or just a blip on your computer screen." When did I ever say that she was? She's a living, breathing person who got death and rape threats because she dared to say something. Okay, let me back that one up, because if you're going to herd me into the misogynist crowd and act as if I just oppose or have opposed Anita Sarkeesian simply because she is a woman, or simply because she is a woman who is talking out against video games, then you don't know me very well, which makes the parting of our friendship, I guess, apropos, because you don't obviously seem to care where I'm coming from. You just want to stamp the stamp of misogynist on my forehead without caring about what I said, or what I have said, or what people have said. In my case, it's not that Anita dared to say anything. It's that she dared to say things that are demonstrably misrepresentation of information, moving of goalposts, and omission of details that don't work for her particular narrative. It's not that she dared to say anything in my case. It's that she dared to try to say something that isn't factually true in what is supposed to be an open and honest dialogue. If you honestly are Team Anita, trying to say to me, trying to sell to me this ideal that I'm wrong simply because I'm opposing Miss Anita's viewpoints based on, oh, I don't know, things like facts, figures, statistics, and evidence, then you can go eat me. I'm sorry, but this kind of thing, this was a piece of the underpinning situation that I had to deal with yesterday. And furthermore, when you'll see the point when I'm starting to be implied to be labeled as something that I have never represented. And considering some of the conversations I've had off and on with one or two other individuals whom I have a greater deal of respect for, you know, I start to get to the point to where I almost don't care about this topic anymore because it's not worth talking. In fact, you know what? Jordan Owens really put it best when he says, when you get involved in a war, you know, whether it's, a war against or for porn, that whole war that's going on there, there can be no major winners in all of this. It's just a lot of collateral damage and a lot of just carnage for the sake of carnage. But when have I ever said that I condoned the fact that Miss Anita got death threats or rape threats? When have I ever dared to say that, or when have I ever dared to make the same threats towards her? I would not want Miss Anita to go away simply because she dared to say something. I would want her to go away because she is not the voice of feminism in gaming, or should not be the voice of feminism in gaming, and sadly she is becoming the voice of feminism in gaming. And for all the wrong reasons, many of which are sex-negative reasons. Reasons that would affect my female ex-friend, by the way, if she cared to understand the ways in which sex negativity is impacting her life. But oh no, I'm just a misogynist. Regardless of whether I agree with everything she said, which I don't, do not link what Kenna did to Sarkeesian. I've already tried to explain where I wasn't linking that, though you hear where the rest of this is taken way too personally. And I guess the absorption, or the absolution, excuse me, of the friendship was probably for the better. She's my friend. Oh, I see. You couldn't have told me this little bit of information from the onset so that I could maybe understand that there's no reason for us to have engaged in a conversation that had everything and nothing to do with Kenna. Because if nothing else illustrates how personally this was taken on her end of things, it's that. I'm glad she's your friend. I'm certainly not trying to create a situation where she is going to be made the target of anything. But if you should be mad at anybody, it's Owen Good and Kotaku at making her into an article, at painting a target on her face, and then claiming if anybody ever goes after her that this is some big misogynistic conspiracy or something of that nature, when Kotaku's the one who brought this to one's attention at a time that's just not the best of times. And I already tried to take Owen Good on it because Owen Good tried to take me on as far as just whitewashing any of the comments that I made in my, in that video where I was explaining my comments and apologizing to Kenya for any implications of her as being things that she was not. And for that, I was just whitewashed as a narcissist, which is really funny coming from Owen Good, but I already told you guys I'm done with Kotaku. She's my friend. I've known her for over 10 years, and I don't want her to get bullied by insane men's rights activists or social justice crazies. Oh, okay. So I'm either an MRA or I'm a social justice crazy. You know, I'm glad that we can maintain a professional working relationship because unfortunately, for me, this person is a part of a media channel that I've been working with off and on, that I was going to debut my comedy series with, or at least try out for a spot on the channel. But wow, Wow. And then she just goes on to basically say, I'm taking you off my Facebook. I mean, I'm glad I know that because I don't know. After the night I had mulling these comments over and over and over again in my head, I'm kind of glad because you've put me into a camp that I did not belong to. Never mind all the caveats that not only did I make in my original comment, but the caveats I made, uh, you know, with my secondary comment that Mr. Owen Good had decided was me being narcissistic when I'm trying to explain how people are taking my comments on Kotaku way too damn seriously and inflating my sense of people listening to me. I wouldn't want Miss Kenya to be bullied. Though, if we really want to talk about this, another reason why I could be mad about the whole Kenya situation there is artistic intentions and artistic creations. George Lucas, in the film The People versus George Lucas, went up to Congress and spoke out against colorization of black and white films because he felt that the black and white films, in their originality, were the culmination of the creative works of people who were not able to stand in front of Congress themselves and say whether they would prefer if their original vision was colorized or not. He was against altering negatives. And what's funny though is because then George eventually goes on and does the exact same thing that he spoke out against. We've spoken out against George Lucas for much less than altering his negatives. But the idea that people want to take the works of other people, the original Zelda game, and change it simply because, I'm sorry. I have an issue with that because that's tinkering with somebody else's artistic vision without their permission, I might add. And then again, this begs the question, why is this news? And, oh, I can't be upset with this on maybe an artistic level, on a look at what these people crafted in the original Zelda game, and you just want to crap all over that by inserting your own stuff as if this game has become your own sort of badly written fan fiction. Oh no, but if I oppose that, I'm a misogynist, right? If I oppose it for any reason, reasonable or otherwise, I'm a misogynist. Can you understand now the kind of damage that, and the reason why I might have even brought up Anita in the first place? Because this is stupid. This is ludicrous. And now I'm getting into no-win conversations where I'm literally being called something that I have not presented myself as, or my position is being whitewashed as either being an MRA position or a social justice crazy, which again, you can eat me. I don't know. I really don't know, but I may actually be walking away from the media channel that I'm affiliated with. Not so much over this, but it also made me think about, do I have time for this channel? Do I have time to give to these guys, even though most of what I've been doing has been the support role anyways? And I really am not sure I can. So I had so much more to think about than just simply my situation with this person who took things to a level it need not gone to, and then picked up their toys and walked away. It is what it is. But from here on out, I'm going to start in on my 10 topics, so don't expect anything like this from me in the future.